This week on Wake Up Whitewater, we'll take a look at the groundbreaking of Winther and Heidi Hall.
We'll look at the behind the scenes of a UWW TV program and get to hear more from the PSE president.
All this and more on Wake Up Whitewater.
Broadcasting from Conover Studio at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, this is Wake Up Whitewater.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Whitewater. I'm Kayla C. alongside Alex Lindblom and Justice Brazelton. We are coming off of a horrible week of weather. We had storms, we had tornado warnings and watches, flooding. How did that go over for you guys?
Yeah, well, for me, I had a bunch of stuff that was actually canceled. I originally had something that I had to do that first really bad one, and that was obviously canceled. But honestly, I just love watching the storms. I have a really good viewpoint from my dorm. I can see a bunch of sky, so I can watch the entire thunderstorm. And I'm always watching the clouds up in the sky because they're always they were moving really fast too, which is a little scary at the time. But I don't know, growing up, I was just always a fan of just kind of watching them. That's just kind of, I always loved getting in a good storm.
Yeah, I agree. When the weather's bad outside, I love being inside, whether it's, snow or rain or thunderstorms. But yeah, you never want to be caught outside in it. But I'm glad, everyone for the most part stayed safe because you never know how bad it is out there.
Yeah, it was rough in Whitewater, right? We had the power go out for 12 hours Monday night. And I know that the Walmart and the Walgreens kind of lost some food supply, right? And they're still kind of working to replace that. Me personally, I made a silly mistake of using my microwave to heat up some chips for nachos. And it was plugged in during the storm, so I had a little explosion happen.
No.
And my microwave is now out of order. I didn't even know that was possible. So newsflash, if you guys are in the middle of a storm, probably unplug electronics and don't use ones like microwaves because that was really scary. And it's even after the storm, it's still not good. So
that's not good.
No,
Did you have to replace the microwave or?
Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. It was stove food for me, for sure.
Yeah.
The news never stops and neither do we. Up next is our UWW TV news update, and Peyton Walsh takes us behind the scenes of the groundbreaking ceremony at Winther Hall. We'll be right back with more after this break.
Love to show you what it's like to be a war hawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a war hawk.
At UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
She's always had it. Pure ambition. An unbridled self-confidence that most people only dream of. You see it driving her, empowering her, and in time, you see it fueling her future. Perhaps even helping her blaze a new trail. All she needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities. Unlimited opportunity.
I'm Alexandra George, and this is your UWW-TV News Update. Chancellor Corey A. King announced the new provost on Friday, April 17th. After a national search, Peter DeHart is UW-Whitewater's newly hired provost and vice chancellor for academic affairs. Currently, DeHart serves as associate provost for research and dean of graduate studies at Minnesota State University, Mankato. UWW's interim provost, Robin Fox, is being recognized on Wednesday, May 20th in the University Center Concourse. A university employee ice cream social from 11 in the morning to 12:30 in the afternoon will be held to celebrate Fox's more than 35 years of service. DeHart will begin his tenure on June 15th. Last week, Wisconsin and surrounding states experienced once-in-a-decade storms causing flooding and heavy rainfall in many areas. Whitewater has seen a total of 9 inches of rain this month, while the Madison area experienced hailstorms that left many cars without windshields. In northern Wisconsin, the town of New London is recovering from water rising up to 12 feet. Tornadoes have also touched down with damage reported across central and southern Wisconsin. Meteorologists are advising residents to stay weather aware and avoid driving through flooded roadways as more April rainfall is expected. And we'll have more news on UWW-TV right after this.
All right, who's next?
Next candidate is Willie Warhawk.
Okay, Willie, let me help you get set up here.
All right, you can tell Willie to start reading whenever he's ready. That's great. Cut.
Great job, Willie. Thank you for coming in today. We'll be in touch.
Next!
Chancellor Corey A. King and UWW mascot Willie Warhawk recently visited Second Salem, which is owned by a UWW alum. As the university continues the Mascot on Main initiative, strong relationships are built with local Whitewater businesses. To view the full episode, visit University of Wisconsin-Whitewater's YouTube page. Finally, the social media campaign, Hired Before Graduation, is around the corner and is considered a campus tradition at UW-Whitewater. If you are a graduating student who has earned a job, gotten accepted into graduate school, or started a business before walking the stage, you are eligible to participate in the Hired Before Graduation campaign. To see the details and view past photos, visit uww.edu/hired. For more news and other updates, tune into uwwtv.org. I'm Alexandra George, and this has been your news update on UWW-TV.
The groundbreaking of Winther and Heidi Hall marks a bold investment in UW-Whitewater's future. Winther and Heidi Hall will create spaces that inspire innovation, strengthen community, and support generations of Warhawks. Peyton Walls has more on the story.
Today is the beginning of a major step forward for UW-Whitewater. University leaders, students, and community members gathered together today to break ground on what will soon become a major space designed to support student success for years to come. Shovels hit the dirt as UW-Whitewater officially launched the construction on a long-awaited renovation of Winther Hall, home to the College of Education and Professional Studies.
This project speaks directly to the Wisconsin idea, the fact that we have a critical teacher shortage. It's time for us to have a facility that speaks to the work that we do so that we can continue to produce the quality teachers that are needed in Wisconsin and the region. To be in a space to say, we're doing it, it feels good, and it's a moment to celebrate, exhale, and get to work.
The nearly $90 million project will create spaces designed for today's teaching methods.
Whitewater has so many amazing things going on. We need to invest in it, and I'm so glad we're doing that today.
UW-Whitewater already licenses more teachers than any other university in the state, making the need for an updated facility even more urgent.
Honestly, it's a little bit hard to believe because we've been working at it for so long.
Leaders say the current building hasn't kept up with the innovations happening inside of the classrooms.
If we are able to make and produce the most teachers in the state of Wisconsin in a building that is failing and has no windows and the elevator sometimes works. I think about what's going to happen once we reopen and what we'll be able to do for the future of Wisconsin and the region. For years, Winther Hall and Heidi Hall have been more than bricks and mortar. They are places where students discover who they are called to be.
This project has been years in the making, with funding fully approved earlier this year by state lawmakers. For many involved, the groundbreaking represents their persistence finally paying off.
This was something that was on my radar as a critical need that was far too long delayed, and I'm so glad that finally the legislature got together to put forward the funding to make today possible.
Students say the investment goes beyond new walls and technology. It's about creating an environment built specifically for their success.
It's not just something to make it look pretty, to capitalize off of it. It's made to be an intentional space to help and support student learning and growth, and it shows even just within the simplest things such as our architecture.
Renderings show collaborative study areas, updated lecture halls, and flexible learning spaces designed to reflect modern education. Construction is set to begin this month, and classes are expected to return to the building in 2029.
We produce amazing teachers right now, but if we have classroom setups to best support them, we'll produce even better teachers than we already do.
University leaders say the new facility will carry forward a legacy nearly 160 years in the making.
I am pleased to report that this new facility will be elevating everyone's expectation. We are finally trading in the mechanical surprises for a building that works as hard as the people inside of it. Go Warhawks!
Peyton Walls reporting for UWW TV News.
Thank you, Peyton. And as you heard, this project will finish in 2029, so unfortunately none of us will be there, but it's still a very important project. And what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, you know, I really like when Chancellor King mentioned that he wanted to make the space a space that works as hard as the people inside of it, because you know, this is education majors are primarily in there, and they are hardworking, and they're a big part of our school.
Yeah, and Whitewater actually graduates the most education majors in the UW system. So it's great that they're taking the time to, you know, kind of go back and thank that building for everything that it's done, and update it and add on to it. So, yeah.
Right. I like that, you know, these buildings are old, right? This is an old campus. Things break down, and I like that they take the time to make sure that it grows with the times and gets better throughout the years. We have a great show for you all today. Coming up next is another edition of For the Health of It. Then we'll welcome the producer, Bree Lusheen, into our studio. We'll be back with more on Wake Up Whitewater right after this. Stay with us.
The Children's Center on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where children learn through play. At the Children's Center, learning comes alive through curiosity and play. The Children's Center, where we are cultivating curiosity and fostering futures. Contact us for a tour or enroll today.
The UW Whitewater Bookstore is your one-stop shop for apparel, textbooks, and technology. Stop in for a wide selection of gifts from our alumni, family, and name brand sections. Need to purchase or rent a textbook? Head downstairs to Textbook Services. Check out our new custom shop and create personalized apparel for your organization. Need a charger, laptop, or headphones? Our new technology section has everything you might need. For more information and bookstore hours, visit uwwhitewaterbookstore.com.
This is For the Health of It. I'm Nora Hooper. Today's episode covers a serious but important topic: sexual assault. This conversation may be difficult for some viewers. If you need support at any time, campus and community resources are available. Sexual assault affects people of all genders, backgrounds, and identities, and talking about it openly is one of the ways we can create safer communities.
So sexual assault is associated with non-consensual sexual contact. The person did not give consent to be either touched or have sexual intercourse at that time. Our official definition is located on our Title IX and Dean of Students webpage. We follow the MORS acronym on campus. It has to be mutual. You both have to agree to have that sexual contact. You have to be ongoing. A person can revoke their consent if they decide that that is not something that they want to do at any point in time in their contact. It has to be voluntary. They cannot be coerced. They cannot be forced into sexual contact. It has to be enthusiastic. They cannot be verbal. They can't not want to be in that space, in that situation, and you just assume that that's what they want to do. And then they have to be sober. At all points in time in contact, if the person, they cannot give consent if they're intoxicated. And that brings us to the amnesty policy. If you are witness someone being harmed and you decide you're going to help them and you call for help, you have to stay with that individual until that help arrives in order to be covered by the amnesty policy.
If someone experiences sexual assault, it is never their fault. Students have options. They can seek medical care, speak confidentially with a counselor or advocate, report to campus officials, file a police report, or choose not to report. The most important thing is that survivors are in control of what happens next.
They can go talk to a trusted person, specifically a confidential advocate such as New Beginning Advocacy, or they can come to UHCS and talk to one of the counselors. We should always speak out and support each other. The very first thing, if someone comes to you and discloses that, is the first thing you should say is, "I believe you. I'm sorry that it happened to you," because you don't want to say, well, why were you wearing that, or were you drinking, or why were you in that situation, because that makes them less likely to speak out. So you do always want to say, I believe you, and how can I support you?
In moments like these, it's important to remember that you are not alone. Local law enforcement, campus police, Title IX staff, and campus counselors are all here to support you, answer your questions, and guide you through every step of the process.
There are confidential resources on campus to report sexual assault or domestic violence. So there are faculty and staff are mandated reporters, right? Counselors at University Health and Counseling Services and counselors at Winther Counseling Services are not mandated reporters when they're in a session with a student or a client. However, for counselors, social workers, so when they're in a setting with a client and they're meeting one-on-one, there is a duty to warn. So if there is an imminent threat to another individual that a client mentions during a session, the counselor may have a duty to warn the potential victim of that situation. They might have to involve local law enforcement as well.
Reporting is a personal decision, but help is always available whenever you're ready. Most importantly, sexual assault is never the victim's fault. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply show up, listen, and support someone who needs it. Let's make a healthier world, just for the health of it. I'm Nora Hooper.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Welcome to Roomies!
My name is Bree Lucine. I am the producer for The Health of It.
My name is Nora Hooper, and I'm the host for The Health of It.
For the Health of It is a health and safety show that revolves around different topics that are happening throughout the world. We are really just using it to inform people about their health, making sure people know where their resources are, and just covering different topics that might be of interest to students, professors, anyone on campus.
The flu spreads primarily via droplets, but it can also be transmitted through contaminated surface that are touched by others. I chose to audition for UWW-TV because I really wanted some experience in like the world of hosting a show and like news anchoring. And for my audition, I was actually kind of nervous because I had auditioned before and it didn't go as well as I wanted to, but then I auditioned again and I felt really good about it, and I'm really happy to be hosting the show for the health of it.
I chose to produce this show because with my health and safety background, it was really appealing to me. I really want to bring awareness to these kinds of topics. So for flu season, I don't want to see everybody getting sick. For air quality, I want to make sure people understand what it means when those warnings go off on their phones. I think it's really important for students to not only stay educated when they're going to college, but especially take that autonomy to know about their self-health and how they can take care of themselves.
It was really fun to work on the show for the first time, and what I would say, like advice to my past self who was too scared to audition, I would say don't be afraid to audition because it's just a really fun experience, like working with producers. And I would say for people who are like too scared to audition for UWW-TV and they want to audition, I would just say just go and audition because you get really good like hands-on experience.
I really enjoy the topics and the people. I enjoy coming in with Nora, having Josh as a co-producer and just someone to kind of guide me as well as I'm learning. And then the topics are obviously close to home. I really enjoy health and safety. I was a CNA when I was in high school, so making sure that there's awareness for these things, and yeah, it's a really good show to be a part of. First of all, you can find our show on uwwtv.org, or you can check us out on YouTube. And I'd like to say to all students, safety and health for all. I hope you all have a safe and healthy rest of your semester. And yeah, let's make a better world, just for the health of it.
Welcome back to Wake Up Whitewater. I'm Justice Brazelton, and I'm joined here today with Bree Lushine. Welcome to our studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. For the Health of It is hosted by Nora Hooper and produced by you, Bree. And this program instructs you on how you can maintain a healthier lifestyle. For the Health of It, you will learn how to stay safe from the flu, wash your hands properly, and so much more. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Of course, a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Bree, what inspired you to produce this show?
So I'm actually a dual degree, and I am getting a bachelor in safety and a bachelor in electronic media. So I've always had a passion for safety and health, and for the Health of It really just integrates all aspects of your health and safety, especially as college students. I think this is a very important piece and one that I take a lot of pride in. I was very inspired. I want people, safety and health is for everybody. Everybody should know what resources are available to them and how to take care of themselves.
Yes, it really is. Well, that's awesome that you can implement both those things into your work.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so what does a week by week or bi-weekly look like you while producing the show?
It's a lot more post-production, I'd say, than many of our other shows. So pre-production, I write my scripts, and normally I like to get multiple done in one session with my host, Nora. And so I'll write 4 scripts, I'll have her come in, she'll do all her reads for all 4 episodes. She does a killer job, super good reads. Takes us maybe 30 minutes to knock out 4 episodes, really cool. Then what I do is, bi-weekly, I choose one of those episodes, and we like to align them with the calendar, how there's Suicide Awareness Month, so we'll release that episode in September. And so we like to align it with, different annual recognitions of different parts of, people's health. So we do that too. But yeah, a lot of post-editing, adding in nurses and their professionals, their advice for these things, yeah.
Yeah, that seems so cool, that process, probably keeps you busy.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite episode that you have filmed?
Hands down, hand washing. It's one of the ones that has so many myths. You don't realize how long 30 seconds is until you're really sitting there scrubbing.
Right.
So shooting all the B-roll for that was so fun, and got to add a digital timer so you could actually see how long 30 seconds was washing it. We had a lot of great information from our nurses on campus here on, the spread of illness and how much you really get on your hands, how much bacteria. So very cool episode. Definitely check it out.
Yeah. And why would you want people to watch your show?
For a lot of students, this is their first time away from home, first time by themselves. So now their health is in their own hands. They could get, a cold this time and mom might not be there to kind of help you get the NyQuil. So it's really important for people to, know how to take care of themselves.
Yeah, I think that that's really important.
Absolutely.
Well, that is awesome. That is all the time that we have here today with Bree. Still ahead on Wake Up Whitewater, we learn more about the resources offered to us by our university health and counseling services. But first, here's our weekend weather update.
What does it mean to be a Warhawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a Warhawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind
and never quit.
Because
that's the Warhawk way.
Welcome to the Whitewater Forensics team, where we ignite voices and foster connections. With 3 to 4 hours of practice weekly, we embark on a journey of self-discovery and growth. From energizing warm-ups to passionate storytelling, we build confidence and creativity. Join our close-knit team, conquer public speaking fears, and advocate for your story. With over 100 awards annually, become part of a community where every voice matters.
You can see it. His potential, that is. You see it even when he may not. You see that the things that spark his interest today will in time ignite the things he pursues tomorrow. And ultimately, help him reach new heights. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Have you heard of URA?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here.
and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
This is your UWW-TV community calendar. To post your event, contact UWW-TV via email uwwtv@uww.edu or by phone 262-472-1332.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee House. Located on the first floor of the Wells Towers, Jitters is a student-run coffee lounge and offers a variety of coffee and ice cream-based drinks and is home to many entertaining programs, including live music, gamer trivia nights, and other performances. Coordinate your activity by emailing jitters@uww.edu. Jitters is completely run by volunteers who can earn service hours and even receive a free drink during their shift. Stop in tonight at Jitters Coffee House, where fun events and community come together.
UWS offers many resources to students here at UW-Whitewater, and one of those resources is their mental health services. Peyton Walls has more on the story.
College life can be overwhelming, but students here at UW-Whitewater have access to support right on campus. I sat down with counselors at the University Health and Counseling Services to learn how they're helping support students' mental health. Counselors say college can bring a mix of emotions, exciting, but also stressful and overwhelming. That's where counseling services come in.
Having someone in their corner to talk to who's sort of a third party, maybe not connected in their social circles or in their family life. And so just having a space that you can know is yours to use it however you want can be a really empowering thing.
Counselors say students don't need a diagnosis or crisis to seek help. In fact, simply having a space to talk can make all the difference.
You don't have to have something wrong with you or a diagnosis, and so try it out, see if it helps with your stressors, who you are, that sort of stuff.
Mental health challenges are common among college students, and many are already using support services, even if others don't realize it.
We are all struggling at times, and that is a normal part of the human experience. Just knowing that there's some shared humanity in that, and that it's okay to struggle, and it's also a really, really strong sign of strength and resilience to be able to ask for help.
Health workers say part of their role is making sure students know help is available before things reach a crisis point.
I've heard from a lot of students that they don't reach out for support because they don't think their concerns are bad enough.
They also focus heavily on prevention through education, outreach, and campus programs that address everything from stress to relationships and personal safety.
We provide events and educational opportunities and skill building workshops on different topics such as consent, healthy relationships, sexual assault, domestic violence awareness.
Staff emphasize that mental health is just as important as physical health, and the two are closely intertwined.
Anything that is affecting your day-to-day life, it shouldn't be compared to someone else. We all have different limits to what we can handle. If you only focus on the physical, eventually that's going to deteriorate and you're not going to be able to focus on that. So if you get the mental first, your physical will actually be better.
And with services already included in student fees and available year-round, counselors say there is no reason to wait. Whether students are facing major challenges or just need someone to talk to, UHCS staff say support is always within reach. Reporting in Whitewater, I'm Peyton Walls from UWW-TV News.
Thank you, Peyton. It's a great opportunity that they offer here on UW-Whitewater campus.
Yeah, and I think it's also very important to note that you do not have to be in a crisis to utilize these services, whether you're stressed or honestly just need someone to talk to. You can use these services. They're offered to all students, and it's also very important to notice that, or to mention that there's no shame utilizing these as well. Like, you do not have to be embarrassed at all. These are available for everyone. Like, you should be able to get help when you need it.
Right, they're here for a reason. And I know me personally, I have taken advantage of our mental health services here, especially freshman year. I don't think that people talk about how hard that transition to college can be, right? It's like your entire world is changing. You're in a completely different city for a lot of people, right? I'm coming from Milwaukee personally, and you're meeting a whole new slot of people, right? You're trying to figure yourself out and yourself in adulthood and your major, right? You're trying to figure yourself out enough that you can pick a career for yourself for the rest of your life, right? Even if you don't have a particular disorder or like you said, a crisis, there's so many things that we need to talk about in this stage of life. Next up on Wake Up Whitewater, we welcome in the president of a student organization called PSE to discuss how their national competition went. We'll be back with more on Wake Up Whitewater right after this.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked. and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee House. Located on the first floor of the Wells Towers, Jitters is a student-run coffee lounge and offers a variety of coffee and ice cream-based drinks and is home to many entertaining programs, including live music, gamer trivia nights, and other performances. Coordinate your activity by emailing jitters@uww.edu. Jitters is completely run by volunteers who can earn service hours and even receive a free drink during their shift. Stop in tonight at Jitters Coffee House, where fun events and community come together.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Issues and Ideas. Today I am here with PSC President Noah Verhasselt. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in to talk to us. So you guys recently just went to Norfolk, Virginia for nationals. How was that?
We did, yeah. So this past week we brought 25 of our members to Norfolk, and yeah, it was a great time.
Okay. For the people on campus who might not know anything about PSC, how would you describe it?
Yeah, so PSC, or Pi Sigma Epsilon, we are a marketing and sales business organization here on campus. So we're open to all majors on campus, even though we are primarily for business majors, it seems like is our target market. And then we also do a lot of sales training, because at our national convention and on campus, we do a lot of sales competitions. So every week we also do a sales meeting where we train our members on like the sales process and really how to like properly execute a sale.
What is your vision for PSE in the future?
Yeah, so I mean, having served as our president for a year, I mean, my goal is really just to kind of keep growing into the future. During my term, we saw like really good recruitment, and we grew our org. I think we're up to about 46 members now. Wow. So we'd really love to just kind of keep growing that and see more students be able to get impacted by our chapter. My term actually ended this past January, so I just finished it up then.
Okay.
But like our main goals that we had for the chapter really past is kind of growing our recruitment. One thing, as a PC chapter, we get ranked nationally by something called COG points. So it's kind of like shows where chapters stand based on what they create for their members with programming and stuff. So one of our big goals was be able to get into what's called gold standing. So that was a really big push we had this year. And we actually set a PSC record this year for COG standing.
Wow. Okay.
We hit over 85,000 points, which was actually a record long-term for PSC. No one's ever hit that number. So we've been really proud of that, and I think it really speaks to the growth our organization's had this last couple of years.
Yeah. What is gold standing?
Yeah, so gold standing, it pretty much means you offer like a certain level of programming and professional development to kind of make yourself like a top-tier chapter. So I believe this year there's 56 chapters nationally for PSC, and I believe only 10 of us were within gold standing.
Was there anything that you learned specifically from going to the convention?
Yeah, so a big thing for us at our convention, there's a national awards program where our board can like apply for awards and stuff. And our chapter, being around that kind of 40-something members usually, we're considered a smaller chapter because some other schools have upwards of 100 members. So we've never performed incredibly well in the national awards program just because we've always kind of told ourselves we're not big enough, we're not going to be able to do good. So a huge takeaway we had this year is that that's actually not true. We were actually able to come home with a ton of awards to the National Awards Program. Wow. And actually, I think took home more trophies than any other chapter in PSC this year. So I think that really was something we learned this year.
Really? What was your favorite award that you guys won?
Ooh, I mean, as a chapter, I think our favorite one was Top Management Team. I think that really just speaks to what myself and our executive board were able to accomplish this year.
Yeah.
And then personally, so I took home what's called the Juan Challenger Award, which is pretty much equivalent to like a PSC MVP award nationally. So it's kind of like a leadership and like kind of legacy award there. So I was very proud of that one. So we had members compete in sales competition, interview competition, speakers competition, and sports sales competition. That's just the really big thing PSC pushes, this like kind of competition. You get the real world experience as opposed to the classroom learning. So our chapter actually, of the 25 members I mentioned that we brought, 23 of them competed in the sales competition. And our chapter in our school, we're really known for being a sales chapter. Like that's something we are really strong with. And this year we saw incredible results. We actually had 15 of the top 34. So we always try to push as many members as we can get to travel. We want you guys to come with us. As opposed to some organizations, it can take a lot of time within an org to be able to get into like a competing spot, because we just really see the value of really pushing that competition as like that real world experience you gain from that. I've been able to network and meet so many other chapter presidents and leadership. So I've got a lot of big takeaways there, and I've been able to learn from a bunch of incredible student leaders.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have here today. Thank you again for coming. We'll be right back with more on Wake Up Whitewater right after this.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a Warhawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a Warhawk.
At UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
Welcome to the show. Josh, let's take a look at some highlights from this last game here. What a performance by the UWW-TV staff in this one.
Absolutely. Look at this clip. Bree is going to signal for Ryan to cut to camera 2, but instead Ryan's going to cut to 3, and that's where things might take a turn. But hold on a second here. Just when you think it's over, Bree makes the split-second decision and reaches over Ryan to cut to camera 2 herself.
And the truck goes wild. Once again, the UWW-TV staff delivers.
We can see it. His relentless determination. A fiery tenacity that can't be taught. We see that what he's passionate about today will steer him toward what he studies tomorrow and ultimately fuel his future career. And all he needs now is to find the right college. Welcome to the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
I'm Chase Keller, and this is your UWW-TV Sports Update. The UW Whitewater baseball team extended their winning streak to 24 games, with 1 win over UW Eau Claire and 4 wins over UW Platteville. They are now 17-0 in conference play and hold a 4.5 game lead over second place UW La Crosse and a 7.5 game lead over third place UW River Falls. The team plays another 6 games this upcoming week, with the UW Oshkosh doubleheader on Wednesday and a 4-game series against River Falls on Saturday and Sunday. The Saturday games will be broadcast live on UWW-TV. Men's tennis clinched the WIAC Western title for the 3rd straight season with a 4-2 win over La Crosse on Friday. They followed that up with a 7-0 loss to top-ranked University of Chicago on Saturday. The men have one more regular season match against Kalamazoo College this upcoming Sunday. The women's tennis team took a 7-0 loss to the number 3 ranked University of Chicago on Saturday as well, and took a 6-1 win over North Central College on Sunday. The women enter the WIAC tournament looking to win their 18th straight conference championship. They receive a first-round bye as the number 2 seed and will play either UW Stevens Point or River Falls on Thursday. If they win, they advance to Saturday's championship. And we'll have more sports on UWW-TV right after this.
Welcome to the show. Josh, let's take a look at some highlights from this last game here. What a performance by the UWW-TV staff in this one.
Absolutely. Look at this clip. Bree is going to signal for Ryan to cut to camera 2, but instead Ryan's going to cut to 3, and that's where things might take a turn. But hold on a second here. Just when you think it's over, Bree makes the split-second decision and reaches over Ryan to cut to camera 2 herself.
And the truck goes wild. Once again, the UWW-TV staff delivers.
Number 17 ranked softball took two 1-0 wins over Stevens Point on Friday, with junior Josie Hammond and freshman Caitlin Marsh throwing complete game shutouts. The Warhawks have a busy week coming up, with 4 doubleheaders in a 6-day span. They play Oshkosh on Tuesday, Stout on Wednesday, River Falls on Saturday, and Elmhurst University on Sunday. Men's and women's track and field competed in the Phil Eston Challenge in La Crosse on Thursday and Friday. The men's 4x400 relay led the Warhawks in the competition, winning the relay with the 4th best time in Division III this season. They host the Drake Alternative Invite this Friday, their last meet of the regular season. Finally, women's golf only played one of the scheduled 2 rounds at the Warhawks Spring Invite on Friday and Saturday. The Warhawks A squad finished 8th and the B squad finished 13th of 18 teams, with Peyton Schmidt shooting an 80 to be the Warhawks' top finisher. The team has one more competition this season, traveling to Milton to play against Carthage College on May 1st. For more sports news and other updates, tune in to uwwtv.org. I'm Chase Keller, and this has been your sports update on UWW-TV.
It's always been there, his love of the outdoors. Some days, you wonder if it might be his calling. Truth is, you know that the things he's passionate about today will build the foundation of what he does tomorrow, and possibly inspire a new journey. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Next candidate is Willie Warhawk.
Okay, Willie, let me help you get set up here.
All right, you can tell Willie to start reading whenever he's ready. That's great. Cut.
Great job, Willie. Thank you for coming in today. We'll be in touch. Next!
Welcome back to Wake Up Whitewater. April has been a huge month for pop culture. We have Coachella happening. Have you seen anything about it?
Yeah, I definitely watched a few performances on YouTube, pretending like I was there as well. I watched Justin Bieber's performance, weekend 1 and 2, which was really nice. Sabrina Carpenter put on a great show, and a lot of other artists. Did you see anything, Alex?
Yeah, no, I always found Coachella so interesting. It's unlike any musical environment you've ever seen. The amount of artists, the location itself, the outfits as well. I've always if I were ever to go, I don't know if it's my environment, but it's definitely something that is always fun to watch every year.
Yeah, I feel like Coachella has become synonymous for like influencers, right? You know, they're going for a photo op, and I don't know if that takes away from the music, but speaking of influencers, right? There's a feud on TikTok right now between the Alexes, Alex Cooper and Alex Earl. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I hear a lot of things. People think that it's a PR stunt. People think that they're making a comeback together. And then, you know, people are just, they're just fighting online. They're bringing up old beef, and, you know, it's not looking pretty.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard a lot about these people, to be honest. But, you know.
Yeah, now you are, right?
Yeah, now I know a lot more
Informing
hearing stuff. But,
yeah, you know, I feel like usually that it does seem like it would be a PR stunt, and it's weird that they would come at each other in real time like this, and everybody's waiting for this response from Alex Earl, right? And these were former business partners, and then something happened between them. And in other news, there's a lot of artists announcing albums.
Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo is soon to come out with an album, and Noah Khan also announced that he is coming out with another album. Are you guys fans of either of those?
I'm definitely excited to see what Olivia Rodrigo does.
Yes.
I followed her first 2 albums, so I'm really excited for that. Well, it looks like that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Wake Up Whitewater. We'll see you next week with more news, sports, and entertainment. Make sure you stay tuned to UWW TV.